Hi guys, and welcome to GistTube TV, your home for everything entertainment and trending news. Subscribe to this channel, and after subscribing there is a notification bell, the bell button. Click on that bell so you will not miss uploads when I have them for your viewing pleasure. Nollywood actors who died in the first half of 2021. Hi guys, and welcome back to this channel. It is no news that the entertainment industry, the movie industry precisely, has gone through a lot in the first half of 2021, and we're just in the 8th month of the year. A lot of talented people, a lot of A-list artists, A-list actors have actually lost their life in the course of the year. So let us look at a list of some of these Nollywood actors. Some of them I believe strongly that you did not even know are there. By the time you see their pictures and the slides, you'll be like, oh my goodness, this man is no more, this woman is no more. Right, without further ado, let's just get right into the video of the day. First up, topping up my list is the death of Orishabumi. Her real name is Folakemi Aremu. She is the wife, or she was the wife of the late Jimo Ali. She was 61 years old when news broke in January of 2021 that she lost her life. The cause of her death is actually still unknown. Nobody knows what killed her. But the most shocking thing, and what makes it even more mysterious, is that within 72 hours, that is 3 days from her death, she lost an elder brother and a younger sibling. The brother died merely 24 hours after her demise, and the younger sister, reports have it that she died due to shock from losing her elder sister and her elder brother in the same breath, and just like twinkle of an eye. So that was like one of the deaths that moved or started this trend, which is a very negative one, and we hope that subsequently we don't see more of that in the course of the year, right? In the year of 2021. Moving on from Folakemi Aremu, let's talk about another individual who lost their life in the course of this year. I am talking about Bruno Iwoa. Now, if you know this man, you would know that he was on the scene from 1990s up until 2015 when he could no longer act. Now, the cause of this man's death is diabetes and glaucoma. In 2015, he was diagnosed with diabetes. He was actually diagnosed with glaucoma, but he didn't know he had diabetes until he was very ill, critically, and then he went to the hospital and they told him, guy, you have diabetes, so you can't really do anything. He came on social media, he came to the media to appeal for funds to be able to treat himself, and a celebrity producer decided to sponsor his treatment in the United States of America. So he traveled out, he was in the US for a brief while, and then by the time he came back, someone who was partially blind could actually see something. He was partially blind, but he could see something, and he was able to work. But then he was managing it until it finally took his life in 2020. April of 2021 rather, was when we lost the man Bruno Iwoa. He used to be a king, an elder person in Nollywood movies. Moving on from him, another person who we lost is Lawson Madriki. Now, also, he started acting actually in 2004, but if you do not know, you would think he's been in the scene since 1990s, because in the span of his career, he really did well. He was in several movies. He acted in over 100 movies in the course of his life. He usually was a king, a traditional ruler, an elder, and all of those things in Igbo Nollywood movies that we used to see in those times, right? And another thing about him is he actually died April of 2021, and the cause of his death is even something very minor, so to say. He complained of body ache, and very mild body ache briefly, and before you know what was happening, he took his last breath. So he used to be a journalist, though. That was why he started his acting career a little bit late. He used to act by the side, but he was a radio reporter for 21 years before he fully decided to transition into being an actor in 2004, and then he lost his life in April of 2021, March of 2021, I believe, not April. Thank you. Moving on from him, Sadiq Daba. Sadiq Daba, oh goodness gracious, he is one of these men that we used to look up to, honestly. He was a well-spoken man, a well-educated individual who understood his role in Nollywood, and I would say he was one of the respected people in Nollywood until his demise in 2021. Now, what killed Sadiq Daba, you may ask me? I don't know why I'm laughing actually, because it's not really a funny situation. So Sadiq Daba lost the battle, a very prolonged battle with prostate cancer in 2021. What actually happened with Sadiq Daba is there was a time when he had to come online. Honestly, I don't understand what Nollywood, should I say Nollywood? Yes, how we treat our people. It's like these guys have to always come to media to seek for help. And at the same time, you're seeing actresses, actors show off, and you're like, okay, how are you able to acquire these things when people that have been in the industry for years are battling to maintain their health because they don't have enough money to maintain it? So when Sadiq Daba called for help, billionaire Otedola decided to, come in. He donated money, he ensured that he went to the US, he was well treated, he was taken care of. But then he came back, he was, when he was going there, he was on wheelchair, he came back, he could work and everything. But then I think he relapsed because the cause of death is still prostate cancer. So probably cancer came back and whatnot. And so sadly, he lost his battle. The next person is a female, Ife Onwomene. She died in May of 2021 after a very prolonged battle, also with endometrial cancer. Now, her death was announced by Gloria Young on Facebook, and she revealed that although Ife did not come to ask for help on social media, she had gone through a lot trying to treat herself to maintain her health, because even while she was in the industry, she was, suffering from it. It was going from different stages, how cancer progresses and whatnot. But then sadly, she lost her life. And if you saw her picture, or if you see her picture while she was close to death, you would see that she was a shadow of herself, not the typical energetic queen we used to see in movies, the good housewife, the nice auntie we used to see in movies. She was quite a shell of herself, and we can only hope that God continues to rest her soul. Now let's talk about Ernest Azuz. This 37-year-old man from Imo State lost his life also in January of 2021. Oh my goodness, January took a lot of top people from us, because I feel like I've mentioned like 4 or 5 Januaries now. Lost the battle to stroke. Okay, let's take a recap in this man's story. Now, when he was diagnosed with stroke in 2015 and he had to stop acting and whatnot, and he couldn't move, he couldn't talk and everything, people rallied around him. He got help. He traveled out of the country. Then he now came back to say some pastor performed a miracle on him and he's fine and hale and healthy, and that is spiritual, and now he's fine. And then the next thing we're seeing videos of him circulating that he was begging for money on the streets of Lagos. So the state government took care of him. They were like, okay, yeah, cop, we're going to take care of you, right? They took care of him, took him back to the state house and all of those things. And then he said, yes, I'm fine. Only for us to hear that he relapsed again and finally lost the battle in January of 2021, leaving behind a wife and 2 kids. After Ernest Azuz, another top person that died, probably are going to be wondering, like, is this man also dead? He's 72 years, Victor Dekker. Now, this man's story is kind of sad because his neighbors had to knock down his door. He was found dead in his apartment and his body was already decomposing. And it was because his neighbors were not saying him, and they were like, okay, what's wrong with this man? They went to knock, they didn't hear a response, and so they had to knock down his door and found his body decomposing. So the source of his death, or the cause of his death, is still very much unknown. They had to call his family members, people, and then they broke the news on the internet that Victor Dekker is no more with us. Moving on from that, let's talk about the lifetime of Rachel Oniga. This woman's death broke the internet, and a lot of people were in tears. Colleagues were paying tribute to her. Fans were left devastated. It was said that she died due to COVID-19 related symptoms, but then her family were quick to come debunk the rumor and the news to say she died of heart-related disease, something that she battled with very briefly. According to them, it wasn't a very long time. And she was in the industry from the 1990s until 2021 when she lost her life. In fact, she was on set barely 2 weeks before her death, and her latest movie, the movie she featured in very recently, is even yet to be released. I can bet you that movie is going to do well in the cinemas when they release it, because everybody wants to see the last body of work of Mrs. Rachel Oniga. Honorary mention, though, is the death of Sound Sultan. The 47-year-old man lost his life to battle with cancer, throat cancer, leaving behind 3 children and a wife who is still deeply in mourning, and the industry is obviously deeply in mourning. I'm mentioning it because also he is an actor. He knows how to act. He used to act as a comedian and also a musician. Anyways, I'll be rounding up this list today. Nollywood actors who have lost their life in the first half of 2021. Hopefully, I do not come back to recap this for the final half of 2021. hopefully, and we don't have a longer list of people losing their life. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, like it, share with your family and friend, and don't forget, there is still the option to subscribe. Please subscribe, it costs you nothing, and also turn on the notification bell so you will not miss uploads when we have them. Bye guys.